Hey guys, Tim here, and we're just talking about the top 10 things I no longer bring on backpacking trips. And we all kind of have these things that we kind of weed out as we start backpacking and become more and more experienced. And you start to realize and look back, I'm not bringing that thing anymore because I never used it or I've changed my gear opinions in some way. And so here are my 10 things that I no longer bring. Number one, a really big knife. I used to kind of carry this big knife on backpacking trips. It only took one, and I realized that I don't need it. This sucker is a great knife. It's a knife made by Tom Chitwood here on YouTube. I'll put a link to his channel down below. But he handcrafted this knife, and I wanted more of a hunting knife, and that's what I thought I would need in order to process kind of large amounts of wood out there. But I find I just end up bringing a pocket knife now. So big knife, I usually don't bring. Number two, a sleeping bag. I don't bring a sleeping bag anymore. When I first started, I brought a sleeping bag, and it's something that I transitioned very quickly to using a quilt. And I just realized that I didn't need that extra zipper. I didn't need all the extra stuff that made a sleeping bag a sleeping bag. And so I transitioned very quickly to a quilt. Number three, Tyvek. I used to bring Tyvek 1443R, which is a softer Tyvek. And this is a very crinkly one that you should probably put through the washer. It's the standard Tyvek that used to wrap houses and stuff. And I used to bring this all the time for a ground sheet. I think I had one at one point that was like, I don't know, like 9 feet long, maybe but maybe 8 feet long and about 3 or 4 feet wide. So I just had a large ground sheet that I used to bring, and I no longer bring that because I use my Z-Packs rain kilt as a ground sheet. I kind of open it up and use it as a ground sheet to kind of put stuff on, put gear on. So Tyvek, I actually don't bring anymore. Number four, I no longer bring a pot koozie. When I first started, I thought, oh, I'll definitely need a pot koozie. I need to keep my food warm. And for me, I always found it did too good a job. I always found that my food was actually too hot, and I couldn't eat it right away. It's something where I had to wait for it to cool or take it out of the koozie. And I realized I don't really need this. Now in the winter time even, honestly, my food is still really hot because I boil water and I dehydrate the food, and it doesn't cool off that fast. And so for me, a pot koozie is kind of unnecessary. Number five, an extra water bag. I used to bring, so 2 smart water bottles, sometimes 3 when I first started. I used to bring a water bag for dirty water, and I used to bring another water bag in addition to that. And so I quickly realized that not only was I not using this, but I could use my water bottles as a dirty water container in an emergency. So let's say in case one of these bags burst or separated or something, I wouldn't have to worry about it. So I very quickly got rid of my extra water bag. Number 6 is a trash bag. I actually started off using a trash bag as a pack liner. And then quickly as I transitioned, and you guys have seen this transition, as I transitioned to a more water resistant pack like the Arc Haul. And for me, it's been waterproof, no problems. And I still use dry bags. I didn't have any use for a white trash compactor or a black trash bag. So I quickly transitioned away from that. Another thing I got away from is bringing a ton of clothes. And so I used to have a stuff sack that was absolutely full of sleeping clothes, an extra shirt, an extra pair of pants I actually brought at one point. Of course, extra socks, but more socks than I actually needed. I had sleep socks, I had an extra pair of socks for hiking, and I had another pair of socks maybe for the other day. And so I had way too many socks, way too many clothes for me personally. And so I transitioned away from wearing too many clothes on the trail. You just kind of have to live with some of the stink, and you kind of get used to it quite quickly. Another thing I don't bring anymore is sunglasses. And the reason is I just never use them. They become annoying because I used to put them in the top lid of my pack. I thought for sure I would use them out in Colorado because the sun's bright, and it is, but I have the benefit of my particular genes, and my eyes are very, very dark brown. I don't have light pigmented eyes. I don't know if you guys could tell that or not. And so I just have never used sunglasses. I always think I will, or I always think, oh my gosh, the snow will be so bright, or the sun will be too bright. And I found kind of shading my eyes with a wide brim hat, or just with my hand in general, has been fine. I haven't needed sunglasses out on the trail ever. And so it's probably gonna start staying home now. My very first gear video, I talked about not talking me out of my Crocs because they're so comfortable at camp. These got ditched, I think, within that month. Just they are so heavy, and I transitioned more to trail runners. So that's something that kind of got ditched very quickly because my feet were comfortable. I wasn't wearing boots all day long. I didn't have the need for camp shoes. It's one of those things where the Crocs, I'm sorry, got ditched very, very quickly. And last but not least, the number one thing that I do not bring anymore on the trail are boots. Now, of course, this is 3 season that I'm talking about, and these boots are still phenomenal. These are the Salomon Quest 4D2, I believe is what the model is. They're still completely waterproof for me, no problems at all, no issues, but I found a more comfortable way. And I find that having my Salomon Speedcross 3s, super comfortable. Trail runners in general just do a fantastic job of keeping my feet not as fatigued, and I don't need all that support or all that cushioning. And so it's something where I have transitioned to trail runners, and I'm not really looking back. So of course, I want to know, what are your things that you no longer bring on the trail compared to when you first started to where you are now? And if you could tell me why, that'd be great. It's always fun to kind of discuss in the comments why you guys make certain decisions, and sometimes you can change my mind. And so maybe you want to talk me back into wearing those Crocs. I don't know. But thanks for watching, guys. Peace.